squeeze us. We can't be doing this alone. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Welcome to the Nick and Rob Homer Hour, and we've got a big week ahead of us as we've got victory week for my Cowboys, your Patriots, and our guest speaker Etzel representing the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
Jumping in there and got a big victory as well, right, Etzel?
Oh, it was a huge one. Although you just had to watch the fourth quarter.
That was quite the fourth quarter. I know we were watching games together on Sunday, and I sat there, and I'm like, one of my leagues, I'm like, I can't believe I started Bo Nix. Why did I start Bo Nix? Bo Nix won me the game thanks to that fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was fourth quarter mile-high magic, as they say.
It was awesome, and we got a big game ahead of us as the Denver Broncos are going to be hosting the Dallas Cowboys next week, and we're going to be talking about that, talking about how the Patriots did, and of course our Colts and our what's happening with the Colts segment, the team of the pod that we randomly got selected with, and then we're going to make our week eight picks heading into it.
And yes, the Colts did also win, so wins all around this week, which is pretty good.
Good week ahead. So let's kick it off with some Eastside news.
This is Eastside News.
Yes, we're going to kick it off with the Eastside News, and let's get right into it, right, Etzel? Let's get into the crazy game that was over in Mile High. The Denver Broncos hosting the New York Giants, who we thought earlier in the year was going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, has become by far one of the most exciting teams, at the very least, with Jackson Dart taking the helm, and now you got Scadaboo running the ball over there, but big game up there. The Giants ended up losing over to the Broncos, 33-32. Just crazy offense all around. Over 400 yards for both offenses. Passing yards, around the 270 to 280 range for both teams. Rushing yards, they ended up doing about the same too. 119 turnovers. They kept it a clean game. Only one turnover for both teams, and then we got Giants getting 4 sacks against Bo Nix, while the Broncos only got 2. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Both Jackson Dart got sacked 4 times, while the Jackson Dart only got Bo Nix only got 2. Crazy game at all, though. It looked like, Etzel nailed it, though, and Etzel, you could jump in on this. It wasn't too exciting for the Broncos, and then the magic happened in the fourth quarter. Take us through what happened there, Etzel.
Well, you go through the game, and the defense for Denver and for the Giants were playing fantastic football. Both sides, pretty slow first quarter, pretty slow second quarter. Third quarter looked like the Giants were about to come away with the win in Denver. And then in the fourth quarter, just the magic happened, and I don't know if Sean Payton threw out the playbook and just stopped trying to screen passes every play, but they finally got some depth of field throws, and it just opened up for the Broncos.
Yeah, it was impressive. But be honest, Etzel, had you turned the game off, and did you have to turn it back on once you got the updates, or were you committed all the way through?
I was committed all the way through on this one.
Nice.
Granted, I was also paying bills by the beginning of the fourth quarter, but I put all of them down probably about 5 minutes into it.
Nice. Yeah, that was impressive. So overall, you've got Sean Payton, you've got Bo Nix. You're obviously a Broncos fan. How are you feeling about that Payton and Bo Nix combo? Do you think you guys are set up for success? 5-2 so far this year.
The Broncos are one of those funny teams where they could easily be 7-0 right now if everything bounced the right way. But they also easily could be a 2-5 team if everything bounced the wrong way. You really have a team where the defense is very elite, and that offense, which is Peyton's specialty, of course, still seems to be coming along and trying to find their identity. And the weird thing about this year is a lot of the offseason acquisitions, Evan Ingram, RJ Harvey, they really haven't shown what they can do yet. And so you're still relying on Cortland Sutton, and then Troy Franklin's been a happy surprise. Had a good last half of the year last year. Looked good this year. And although Dobbins is a new arrival who has actually been playing very well. So on offense, it's a bit schizophrenic because it almost seems like they have to win for them to actually turn on the offense. It's got to be late in the game, and it's got to be they're behind like they were with the Eagles and with the Giants.
So, like, a little bit more specific on, like, Sean Payton. I'm a huge Sean Payton fan. I think he's a good play caller. But it sounds like you were a little skeptical with the screen passes called early in the game. Are you feeling good about Sean Payton? How does the Denver crowd feel about him?
Sean Payton's an offensive genius, and sometimes genius gets a little too creative and a little too much in their own world. So I think there's been a little bit of that working out of, we know we can see the beautiful mind of the play, but let's do something that actually just works.
Yep. As a Texas Longhorns fan, I feel you there. As someone that watches college football and watches Steve Sarkisian just overthink so many things. But yeah, it sounds like, so 5-2 right now, but those Chiefs are still working. How are you feeling about the rest of this season?
Right now we're in the driver's seat for the division. So you really it's going to be a very competitive all the way probably to the last week with this division. The Chargers have been fantastic until they started losing all of their offensive line. The Chiefs, of course, turning on, and anyone's a fool who tries to doubt Patrick Mahomes. And we don't have to count the Raiders. So
we don't either.
They did somehow, get that win against the Patriots.
Fluky, right?
Yeah.
In the NFL, right?
Exactly. Anyone can win any given week.
Mm-hmm.
But that's exciting. So are you projecting it? Are you going to go ahead and make the call, Etzel? Will the Denver Broncos win the division, or are you just not feeling too confident quite yet?
I'll say they actually win the division. I thought the Chargers were probably going to do it, but now without the offensive line, I think the Broncos are in the driver's seat. It's theirs to lose.
I would love to see that. As a Patriots fan, not surprisingly, I'm not a big Chiefs fan. So let's see even though the Broncos and Pats had their battles in Brady and Manning's time, I'm all for seeing the Broncos get ahead of those Chiefs this year. That sounds good to me.
Absolutely, and those Chiefs, I can still see them making the playoffs, but I could actually very easily see 2 wildcard teams coming from this division.
Yeah.
Last question on my end, and then we'll move on to the Cowboys. Cowboys in exciting game against the Commanders, but then we'll talk about the Cowboys-Broncos. Bo Nix, though, he seems like he has a couple of slow starts early in the season, then he starts picking it up at the end. Am I hitting that right, or has it been, he seems like he struggles in the beginning and then gets it towards the end?
Recently that has definitely been the trend for Bo Nix. Actually, all season, because if you look at the Titans game, I think they scored first, if I remember right. The Colts game was a very competitive game. But yeah, it took a comeback to lose barely to the Chargers. Bengals was a cakewalk that week, but Eagles and even the Jets in London, Nix had to come back in it.
Yeah, but he did pull through. He has become the cardiac kid, and he's gotten some wins for sure.
And, as long as the games are in Denver, we'll take that thin air and use it against anybody we can.
Yeah, and speaking of games in Denver, next week, they're going to be playing against us. We're going to do a little breakdown of the Dallas Cowboys against the Commanders and just overall performance. But then I definitely want to hear your intake on your take on how you think they're going to perform against the Cowboys. But the Dallas Cowboys are going to play against the Washington Commanders. They throttled them, Rob. They throttled them out there.
They did. I was shocked, but happy.
I was shocked too because not so much on the offense. We know that they're the number one offense in the league right now as we're speaking. It looks like that George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb came back, and boy did Dak make them pay. Total yards 416, 264 yards, and then the biggest thing from Dak Prescott: 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Only players to score 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, at least 3 touchdowns and no interceptions in the last 4 games, all are Super Bowl winners. Every single one. It's Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson did it, and I forgot the others. But the point is, Dak is doing something crazy right now where he is not throwing picks. He's throwing a lot of touchdowns. He's looking really dialed in. And this George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb combo is looking really, really good heading into the season.
It's looking good. It's looking real good. And even with both of them on the field and healthy, it was a solid balance during this game. Obviously, CD is the alpha for sure. But I think we found the key. If the defense can find a way to keep their opponents under 28 points, 27 or less, the Cowboys can win every game.
Yeah, and they were doing stuff that they weren't doing before. They ended up getting 4 sacks. They were doing a good job stopping the run, and Jayden Daniels only got 219 yards off, which is pretty good, but a lot of trash yards towards the end.
And he's still ramping back up from his injury.
Well, now, and that's the other story to this, because we do follow the Commanders. Hamstring went out on him again, so I don't know. I don't know about the Commanders going forward on this, but Cowboys did what they were supposed to do. More than what they were supposed to do. They just really walloped them. It was an awesome game. I was really excited to see it. If this defense, and they also did something different that I have not seen in quite some time. They ran man-to-man because they saw Jayden Daniels struggles against man-to-man, and they actually called it. They didn't stick to zone on that one.
Well, that was all Jerry. Jerry did give in one of his press conferences when he finally came out of hiding this last week. He said they were going to start playing man. So I'm pretty sure Jerry took Eberflus into his office, threw an empty bottle of Johnny Blue at him, and said play man, and then kicked him out of the office.
It was crazy. Whatever happened or however it happened, I have no problem with it. I love the fact that we started doing something a little different. Finally, Eberflus is getting into his head that maybe the defense doesn't run zone that well, and attacked it, took a different approach, and we ended up playing pretty well. Overall, great performance, very exciting. I expected them to win, but I didn't think it was going to be something like this out there. I think the Cowboys are back to looking good, but like I said, they just draw me back in. They draw me back in week after week.
They're primed for a run, and when it comes down to it, I still think the Eagles are going to win this division. But in the long run, I think that tie is really going to help them when it comes down to looking at the 6 or 7 seed for the playoffs. And the tie might give them the edge.
Very well could, especially if Green Bay beats. We're playing the NFC North out, this year. So if they end up losing to the Green Bay Packers, the other 3 teams, we're in some good shape over there. But so. Etzel, my question towards you, though, is you're going against this juggernaut of an offense here, the Dallas Cowboys over in Denver. How you feeling about it? Do you feel very confident in your Broncos heading into this game?
It's a home game, and I actually do feel pretty confident in the Broncos in this one. CeeDee Lamb's not going to be able to do what he usually does when he's playing Surtain. That's just a matchup of the two of some of the best players in the league. The scariest player, honestly, for the Broncos side on Dallas's offense is Ferguson. If anyone's going to beat him, it's actually going to be Ferguson.
You guys aren't doing well against tight ends, having problems with the linebacker
Let look what the Giants did against Denver as far as receiving yards. And their leaders in receiving yards, Wandale was up there. Number 2, Daniel Bellinger with 88 yards. Number 3, Theo Johnson with 66 yards, both of them with a touchdown. So the linebacker core, if you're going to beat Denver through the air, it's got to be through the tight end on your usual basis. Of course, if you hit Wandale in the hands and then let it bounce out to a tight end, that seems to work also. So,
Yeah.
So there you go. There you have it. That's the game plan for the Dallas Cowboys to win there. I mean, you brought up a good point on CeeDee Lamb, and he's going to have a tough time going against that secondary. But the problem is the secondaries are so handcuffed against the Dallas Cowboys because they got Ferguson, they got George Pickens, they got CeeDee Lamb. They could do so much with it,
and you never know. Someone like Ryan Flournoy, if everyone else is covered, can just come out, or Tolbert can just come out and have a game.
Yeah. And in case you don't know Flournoy, you're about to. I'm going to go ahead and predict that, Etzel. He's going to have a big game against the Broncos because that kid is something special too. He runs real fast. I don't know about his route running. I guess that's the only reason why he doesn't get the ball as much.
He's had one good game so far, a very good game.
Yeah.
But, we keep talking about the Cowboys offense. Pulling up the Denver stats on defense. They're fourth in the league in points allowed, only 18.1. They're allowing less than 280 yards a game, 273.1, third in the NFL. Points per play is first in the NFL, 0.29. Red zone scoring for touchdowns, 44% in the NFL. So this is, I think, the Cowboys' offense's first true test when it comes down to can this offense hum against anyone. I think we're going to see it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So are you confident, Etzel? Are you confident in this defense to slow down this juggernaut?
Absolutely. And in fact, if I am looking at another player on Dallas that actually would scare me a bit, it is Javonte Williams. He got a little bit of a raw deal coming out of town from Denver because he had the ACL injury, which he came back early from. And let's just face it, he was not completely healthy last year.
No.
And got a bit of a raw deal because of that. Dallas picked him up very smartly. And you're seeing what his knee can do after 2 years after surgery. And he's one of the best running backs in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I've been preaching about Javonte Williams, and I think you guys were in a rock and a hard place because you had to deal with him right after that injury. He already had a bad season, and you're just going to yourself, "Hey, do we sign this kid or not?" I mean, he hasn't really proven anything quite yet. Cowboys took advantage of it, said, we'll sign him on the cheap. We have no problem with that if they cut him. And I don't see any problem with what the Broncos did, and I don't see a problem with what the Cowboys did with Javonte Williams. I just think he got so underrated. The NFL gave up on him so quickly. And you know what he did when he was a rookie and sophomore for you guys. He was a really good player.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. And yeah, for some reason, everybody just gave up on him way too quickly.
Yeah. And, and for me, the interesting thing was the Broncos let him go, but then they replaced him with another injury risk. So my thought was, why not with J.K. Dobbins, who's been healthy so far, who's playing well. Maybe he just had to get out of Baltimore to stop getting hurt. I don't know. But my thought process is if you're going to go with an injury risk, go with the one you know.
Yeah, it might just be one of there's always a bunch of egos in the NFL, and Javonte was one of the last picks the old regime made. So it might have been definitely that. But people in Denver know that those first couple of years, Javonte was incredible.
Yeah, he certainly was.
And the last part of it we got to analyze, and I haven't talked about it because I don't want to too much. The Cowboys defense, do you think Bo Nix is going to be able to shred the vaunted, the 85 Bears Cowboys defense going in there and wrecking shop in Denver? Do you think that he could
if we're going to go 85 maybe we should go a little bit super fan. If the Broncos can score 33 points on the Giants in one quarter, what can they do against the Cowboys in 4? So,
I think he's saying they can get 100 points.
100, you know.
I love that Homer optimism there. This is Homer hour, so it's the optimism we want to hear. But looking at this game,
more than 18 points if that does happen.
yeah, for sure. Looking at this game, I have a feeling I know where you're going with this. But if you had, I know it's only Tuesday, but if you had to make a pick right now, who are you picking?
I'm definitely going with Denver in the home game. You got the altitude, you got the defense, you got everybody being worn down. You got the two strengths going against strength, and you got the weaknesses going against the weakness in the same game. So I got to give the edge to the Broncos on that because I think their offense is just a little bit more together than the Dallas defense is.
That certainly makes sense. We're gonna give our picks a little later in the show, but yeah, you think not only it's Broncos -3.5. You think it's a win and a cover?
I think it is definitely a win, and let's see here, cover. No, we like to make it close, so I'm going to say 3 is probably a good spread.
Nice.
Well, take advantage of living in Colorado where you can actually place a bet on that. We're stuck on Texas, so we don't get that option over here.
Nah, it's too bad.
For sure. But yeah, hey, Etzel, when it comes to you picking the Denver Broncos over the Cowboys, obviously you're always welcome on our show. You can always give us your input, and you're also allowed to be wrong. And I'm going to allow that this show because I think the Cowboys should pull it off. It's going to be an exciting game either way. I think it's going to be fun. A lot of crazy stuff happens in Denver, and I can't wait for it for sure.
Oh yeah. I did not. Anytime the Patriots during those peak Brady, Manning years, even before Manning showed up, I never liked it when the Pats had to go into Denver. Bill always had to come up with something creative, like intentional safety or something crazy, and even then we still couldn't always pull it off.
Exactly. Yeah, those years with Shanahan and Belichick, those were always fun, but you never knew what was going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Etzel, thank you for joining us. And do you have any last things to say before we send you off?
Thank you guys for having me, and go Broncos.
All right.
Thanks. Have a good one, Etzel. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it. All right. That was exciting. I really liked Etzel over there.
Etzel was great. He had a lot of good. He knows his team. I love it when we talk to people that really know their team, which so far with all our guests we've had. Again, if you're watching this and you're a Colts fan, so far I think we might be the only 2 Colts fans on the face of the earth. But if there's a third Colts fan out there, reach out to us. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah, prove us wrong, because right now that's what we're going to stand by. We're the only 2, okay? But yeah, we'll definitely do that. But Rob, what do you got going on in the AFC?
In the AFC East, let's start with our 2 dumpster fires. Let's start with those 2 dumpster fires. Let's talk the Jets first. And the big thing about the Jets, remember, I am not the world's greatest football analyst. And that's going to be proven by the fact that I was all in on Justin Fields preseason going into it. I thought he'd gotten a raw deal. I still think he may have gotten a raw deal, at least in Pittsburgh. He was definitely better than Russell Wilson. Come on. But
he was.
He's not a starting quarterback for the New York Jets. No. He even has his friend Garrett Wilson, and it still doesn't matter. Granted, Wilson was out hurt this last week. But it's bad when the owner of the team, when being asked about Aaron Glenn and changes, says, well, when you have a quarterback that can't complete a pass, no one's going to win. So it's clear that the support is behind Aaron Glenn, and I think the days of Justin Fields starting are completely over. So, 0-7 Jets, and lucky for them, it looks like it's quite the amazing crop of question marks at quarterback this year coming out in the draft. Arch Manning is not going to come out in the draft. Even if he did, he might be worth a 6th round pick right now. Neuheisel for LSU has struggled. And then you look at Cade Klubnik over at Clemson, also struggled. There's no surefire top pick for the Jets. So don't worry, everyone. The Jets are going to keep jetting. And the question is, are they going to get a win? They'll probably get a win this season. But also, I'd be cool if they're the first ever 0-17 team.
Yeah, they might get there too. And the only point I have with the Jets, and we'll move on quickly from them because I'm sorry, Jet fans, it's a dumpster fire right now. But the fact that the owner does not believe in the quarterback, I mean, that says a lot towards Aaron Glenn and the general manager that they decided to go get Justin Fields out there. So if you're the Jets, do you feel a little pressure if you're those two guys having to hear that from the owner saying he might not have been a bad decision?
For sure, because no matter what, Aaron Glenn's not going to get fired after this year, even if they go 0-17. He's installing a culture, and he's coming from a place where he helped install a culture in Detroit. My goodness. They made Detroit a winner, and he was a big part of that. So you got to give him time. That being said, if they get 3 or less wins this year, which at this point, if I'm a Jets fan, I kind of want that, so I get as much draft capital as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If he opens up next season at 0-4, 0-5, I think he doesn't even complete 2 seasons, which is too. And I mean, they even had like Carolina's defense, not that great. Granted, they shut out Atlanta, so they scored more points than Atlanta get against them.
Which is so weird.
But they had Andy Dalton struggled replacing Bryce Young, and they still couldn't find a way. They just had to get to 14 points, and they couldn't even do it. So good for the Panthers. Jets are gonna jet.
Jets are jetting, that's for sure. And then just to keep you on pace with us, I don't like to bog you down with too much. What's going on with the why am I struggling? The Bills had a bye week.
Bills had a bye week. So the Bills, last I heard, they won their bye week. Josh Allen's coming out of it healthy. Same with no new injuries out of the bye week. Right. So the Bills are good to go there. So the next one is the Dolphins. Oh my goodness. The Dolphins let the Cleveland Browns score 31 points on them in the rain in Miami. Granted, Tua potentially outscored the Browns for the Browns with what he was doing. I think at this point, if Mike McDaniels could take Tua and literally throw him out of the locker room, he would. He seems to clearly despise Tua. They don't like each other at all.
No.
And Tua is playing like crap.
And that's back-to-back coaches for Tua. I mean, something's going on with Tua where coaches just don't like working with him. And which brings us to our next point. I mean, you being a Texas fan, Quinn Ewers got to play a little.
He did, and you know what? He went 5 for 8, and he didn't have an interception. The very first pass, he very nearly did. However, and we watched it live, and when I saw it, yes, it should have been a pick. But the reason why that defender was able to get back and get a jump on that ball, the receiver that he was covering ran 3 steps and stopped. So the Dolphins receiver gave up on it. So the guy defending him was like, well, he's not getting the ball. And he started moving backwards and then was able to, on what was supposed to be a touch pass for Quinn, was able to get up there and nearly get it. I think on a dry day he picks that off, but we lucked out. Quinn didn't look great, but he got thrown literally into a very wet fire there. And he did have that one really nice touch pass down the sideline. It would not shock me if Quinn's getting the start in the next game. It really wouldn't. It also wouldn't shock me if they go ahead and go with Zach Wilson to start the next game. But at this point, if Mike McDaniels is still the head coach, the next time I think Dolphins don't have a bye week. I'm not sure. I should have looked this up. But the next time the Dolphins take the field, if Mike McDaniels is still on the sidelines, I don't think Tua is in anything but street clothes.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of comments how Mike McDaniel looked out on that sideline, but
Not
obviously
good.
YouTube won't let me
We
make comments
got
on
in trouble last time I made a joke regarding that stuff, so we won't.
But I could say habits. I could say keep an eye on his habits. He didn't
Yeah.
look too solid out
But
there.
at this point, Miami's 1-6. No one's gonna take Tua. You're stuck with that, and you're stuck with him on your roster next year too, or you're just gonna have to eat it and really handicap your team. But if I'm the Dolphins, I think I can get a second plus more, or maybe even a first for A-Chain. He is such a good running back. Trade him, get him out of there. Let Ollie Gordon try to do his thing. See what you have. Tear it down to the studs. Trade Waddle. Trade the rights to Tyreek Hill for like a carton of oranges or something. I don't know. But
This
do
is
something.
this is my argument with the Miami Dolphins. They cannot do that because they have too much. They have way too much. They have way too much talent out there. To do a tear down rebuild just doesn't seem to make sense right now. You just got to get a new coach and get a new quarterback somehow, some way. Maybe Quinn Ewers is going to be your guy.
Maybe it's Quinn. If not, there's no, again, 1-6. There's no surefire quarterback to take in the first round at this point that you can say would be better than Quinn. But I would say, okay, fine. You don't want to tear it down because they have so much. Don't. But I would still trade A-Chain. He's a running back, and if you get a hot running back like that, but you're not going anywhere, go ahead and get value for him.
Yeah.
As long as you've got a line, you can get some function out of whoever's behind there. It might not be A-Chain production, but you can get function, and then you can, if you get yourself a second first round pick, or you get some addition, or an additional second and third that you can flip up to a first round pick, or just get more depth. It's just a win for you overall.
Yeah. But again, Miami Dolphins just not looking good. Not looking good over there in Miami.
Not looking good at all, but a team that is looking better.
Referring to the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Minnesota Vikings?
They did beat them. And I'm curious to hear what you thought about that game. Especially, I want to hear what you thought about how the Vikings try to defend the tush push. If you haven't seen that, I'll pull it up so you can see it while you're talking about stuff.
Yeah. We'll pull that up while we're looking at this. I actually have a high opinion on how to handle the tush push, and that's why it's going to be really interesting to see that there. I only got spotty on it. I saw the highlights of the game, but the Eagles ended up winning 28-22. The offense seems to be doing what they do. 371 yards, 402 for the Vikings. Passing yards, Jalen Hurts was cooking. He got 326 yards versus the Vikings, who got 313.
He's a good quarterback.
I agree.
Media, settle down.
I agree. I would not. I don't get the hate for Jalen Hurts right now. The way I see it is he's only going to get better and better and better. And here's the weird thing about quarterbacks. They're not good when they're immediately in the league. Guys, they take time to develop. It takes time to learn the league. And look at C.J. Stroud right now after that big loss right there. I'm high on C.J. Stroud, but he's got some things to learn and how to handle that.
He has not bounced back from I don't know.
But I see the talent, and it's the same way with Jalen Hurts. I
wouldn't give up on him yet. No, not at all. He's no Tua.
Yeah, and so when I see like good players that had bad games or something like that, we're so quick to go after them, and I don't think the Philadelphia media helps with that. But overall, I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts, obviously, especially after that performance. Against a good Minnesota Vikings defense as well. Here's the weird thing that came out of that game. 45 rushing yards. Another bad performance by Saquon Barkley. And if this offense can't run the ball, that's like their kryptonite. They can't keep doing this. That is their bread and butter. That is what makes the Philadelphia Eagles. So my question is what the hell is going on with the run?
Well, is it more of a line issue or is it more of a Saquon? Saquon did have some fumbles early in the year. I was thinking Derrick Henry there. No, Saquon had some. Saquon had, because they were both lights out last season, studs, and they both seem to have fallen off. But Saquon can still affect the passing game. I think he'll be fine. But guys, just take a look at this. See that defender there? Literally laying down.
Interesting approach.
Allows them to get leverage that didn't necessarily work, but they tried.
I'll do a you know what, next show I'm gonna do a segment on the tush push. I've got a theory on it, how to attack it, how to do it. I think we're doing it backwards, where you try to get lower is not the strategy. They're going to win. They're going to get that point. And if you, yeah, I know you guys probably didn't see that play, but like you said, the defender laid down on that play and tried to stop it. But the problem is, it's not about getting low. That's not what he does. What Jalen Hurts does is ride the top of his lineman to get the first down.
But it was stopping the center from getting as low as he normally gets.
But they're attacking one point. That's the key. So he's got a couple of players he can just ride on. I'll do a whole segment on it.
They converted that one, but then the next time they laid down again, it did cause a penalty. So
yeah,
partial success.
Yeah, which is really funny because there was a penalty out there. What game was that? I forgot what game it was, but there was a penalty out there for one of the players doing a false start, doing the tush push. Some other team out there tried to do it, and they got the false start, but the Eagles never seemed to get it. So
yeah,
if I was that team, I'd be losing my mind. But I wish I had the specifics on it. But
yeah.
Eagles overall look really good. I think they're actually going to be the team still to beat in the NFC East. You know, you got the Cowboys. I call them the Texas Tech of the NFC East, where they're going to randomly beat good teams and they're going to randomly beat bad teams.
And have an epic offense while doing it.
Yeah, it's just going to look really good. But with that defense, they're going to be struggling all season long and just being consistent. The Eagles look like the most complete team. They look like they have a really good offense. They look like they have a good defense. The only concern I have with the Eagles is they've got to start getting the run working for them, because that is their bread and butter. That is what makes them who they are. And they're going to have close games like this a lot. But it ended up being a good win. It's not an easy win. Minnesota Vikings look like a really good team. I don't care who the quarterback is right now. In this case, it was it was the it was a revenge match, right? With I don't know what it was his name, but yeah, it was a revenge match with the quarterback over there. But JJ McCarthy, Carson Wentz over there was trying to beat the Eagles, who he got fired from. But Vikings, I wouldn't be concerned. JJ McCarthy should be coming back, and I actually have a lot of high praise about JJ McCarthy. He had a tough start early in the year, but big win, not an easy win. And do teams apologize for victories, especially away?
No, never. Away at home, a win, as Texas Longhorn fans are trying to convince ourselves after an overtime 16-13.
Take it, love it.
It's a win.
Get that W. Does the W care, Rob? Does
No.
the W care? No.
The W doesn't. The W does not.
I don't know what the tie means, but but I do know what W means.
That tie might be very helpful towards the end there. It really might. Which then leads us, we have one more team in our East divisions to discuss, and it is your AFC East leading New England Patriots. And I know I haven't said thank you in a long time, but and this will come as a shock to you, but I would like to once again thank the Titans owner, Amy Adams Strunk. Thank you so much for seeing so little in one of the best coaches in all of football, that you let him come back to New England. And I know you all thought so much of it, and we're so proud of your choice that you made sure to fire the guy that you wanted to replace Verable with before Verable came to town and beat him up.
He's really working out right now. I'll tell you that. He's got that team in gear. They're starting to win. They got a quarterback. I am excited about the Patriots for sure.
To me, the play of the game was Drake May, the Keyshawn Booty. He fired that. Drake May has a cannon, and he has an accurate cannon. It reminds me of a younger pre-ayahuasca Aaron Rodgers with the way that he can. We pre him talking about ayahuasca, with the way he can just let it go down the field with a lot of accuracy.
Flick of the wrist, and it just seems to go 70 yards. He is a phenomenal quarterback right now.
Yep.
Rob, I saw you posting about it. Top 10 quarterback?
I'm thinking about it. And right now, quarterbacks I would take in a vacuum over Drake May if they were healthy. If I'm being a homer, so in reality, I don't want to take anyone other than Drake May. I'm ride or die with Drake May right now. But if I was being a non-homer objective person, I would take Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Jalen Hurts because he's proven he can win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take him. I would take Patrick Mahomes. The dude, when he doesn't want to go down, he just doesn't go down. I would take Mahomes.
I hate, but respect.
I hate it. Yeah, I hate it, but respect it all at the same time. And with the way things are going right now, Josh Allen, because we beat him, but the Pats and Bills are always gonna battle each other. I'll take Josh Allen. I would not take Herbert. At this point, he's having a hell of a season, but I wouldn't take Dak over Drake May.
Yeah, I get it.
I think very quickly those two are going to be very comparable in their skill sets.
Yeah.
I would say, especially now that Dak doesn't really run anymore.
When it comes to Dak, I mean, when you're talking about deadly accuracy, you got to remember 2016 Dak did not believe in that, but it built over time, and now I'm going, he's deadly accurate.
Yeah.
Very deadly accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But Drake May looks like I think that's good comparison.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't take Joe Burrow because he can't stay on the field.
Oh,
he can't. It's
that's
not
where
just hurt now. He just can't stay on the field. He's not on the field enough.
That's my line.
I could see the argument for taking Joe Burrow over him. Fully healthy, injuries off on the video game settings. Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
I just love me some Joe Burrow. I really do.
I don't think there's any quarterback in the AFC South I would take over Drake May.
No. Not right now.
Nope. No one. Yeah, so he's definitely in the top 10 right now. And by the end of the season, he might arguably be get a playoff win or two.
Mm-hmm.
Might be knocking on the top 5. What my hope is, he's only in year 2, so we still got 3 more years. But my hope is he kind of learns from what goes on, and he doesn't want to reset the market.
Yeah.
I want him to get paid, and I want him to get paid well, but I want him to kind of do what Brady did and allow for maybe take like a paycheck in the top 10, but not the top 3.
Hard to find, Rob. Hard to find. What Tom Brady actually did for the Patriots, in case you guys don't know, is he took a lot of pay cuts. Got a lot of pay cuts because he wanted good players on the team. And the worst part about the Patriots, they didn't give them anything on the offensive side. They just focused on the defense.
Well, there was in between. In that in-between time, they gave him Randy Moss, they gave him Wes Welker, but none of them were on rockstar deals. They were all reclamation projects.
Yeah.
The Dolphins gave us Wes Welker for a second round. Wait, you want a second round pick for this guy? We're like, yeah. And the Dolphins weren't smart enough to go, wait, we shouldn't do this.
You guys just lucked into that one.
Yeah, we really did. We really did.
Tom Brady just found him.
Also, thank you. You made a lot of money that allowed Tom to live a lavish lifestyle. You could still dress him properly, and he didn't have to make top of the league money.
So the game itself, it was a little bit of a struggle in the first half.
Slow start.
But then
down 10-3 after 1.
And then they turned it up, right?
Rocket ship.
And started playing a lot better. The defense started getting it in gear and reminded the Titans who the Titans are.
Yeah.
Cam Ward did not look good.
No, he's having. I hope they don't immediately give up on him. I hope they find a coach that can develop him. They find a good quarterback whisperer to do it. And maybe it is keeping someone like Mike McCoy as the head coach.
Maybe.
Just get someone to clock manage for him, because that's why he lost his job in San Diego. Get someone to clock manage for him, or maybe it's like maybe you can bring someone like not as a head coach, but you could bring like a John Gruden in specifically as someone to work with him and develop him.
I have
He's
reason.
got the skill set.
Yeah, and I think John Gruden, I don't know about that. It sounds like he's head coach or not going to do it. But McDaniels.
Barstool's paying him a lot of money to hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, and he seems to be having a good time too. It's got to be relaxing for him, but you can just tell a coach wants to be a coach, and that's one of them that I think he just wants to be a coach over there. And he will wait on you. Obviously, the Monday night, he waited 10 years to finally get a team when he was the Monday night announcer. But McDaniels is another option. I think if he ends up being available, that Tennessee could actually benefit off that. Just someone that can orchestrate a freaking offense around him.
And he's talking about
work out.
Mike McDaniels. He's not talking about Josh McDaniels. He's going nowhere.
No. I think he's proven enough that head coaching is just not his thing. He's an offensive
exactly. And just New England had a wonderful game. Borregales 1 for 1 with the field goals, 4 for 4 with the extra points. He's out of my doghouse. He can be our kicker for the rest of the year for now. Marcus Jones again on the stat sheet. He had an interception. He just finds a way to get on the stat sheet every single game. Christian Gonzalez had an amazing game. 5 solo tackles. He didn't even have any passes defense, but they couldn't get anyone open. So he defended them by just covering his receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Carlton Davis had a solid game as well. So a lot of good stuff going on defense. And then offense, it's starting to click. And if you're worried about complete changes from the life and times of Bill Belichick, don't worry. You still cannot rely on starting any one Patriots running back in fantasy. It's just never going to happen.
Give up on that. I'll tell you that.
It's never going to happen.
As an owner of Trayvon Henderson, I wish that would change, but I guess it's not going to happen.
Yeah, so the rushing is really where see some stuff change. But Ramondre Stevenson, 18 for 88, that's solid, a 4.9 clip. Drake May ran for 62, but you gotta say, Drake, don't let yourself get hurt. That was the big thing I was getting nervous about there. Trayvon Henderson only got 2 carries, so that was too bad. And he didn't have anything going for him in the receiving game. So I don't know if he just is in the doghouse a little bit, or if it's just he's still catching up to the speed of the game. I still have a lot of hopes for him.
Keep him in your back pocket of the fantasy team because I think he's actually going to blow up.
Especially if you're in a dynasty or keeper league, hang on to him for sure.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'm going to say is Verable spent all saying we're not winning one for the Gipper. It's not a big thing. We're just in here to do our jobs. The players, and that's how you know you have a good culture, and that's how you know you have the right coach. The players all in for him. Drake May, at the end of the game in the locker room, Verable gave his normal speech. Drake May stopped everybody, and they made sure to put a game ball right in Vrabel's chest. This team loves him. They're all in on him. Again, I think this team's going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to stumble a little bit along the way. We'll get to next week's game in a minute or two. But we got the right coach. Thank you, Titans ownership.
Boy, did they drop that one. But, hey, it worked out for you guys. And I think Vrabel was a better match than the Patriots than the Titans all along. But, obviously your Patriots are doing good. The Cowboys are doing good. But you know who's also doing good, Rob?
Who?
Well, of course, the Colts.
What's going on with them? What happened this week?
What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? Is it go blue? Let's ride. Or lucky shoe? Who knows? Who knows? What's going on with the Colts?
Yeah, so that's what's going on with the Colts. Our team of the pod, in case you guys don't know, we randomly selected a team with a wheel.
Spun the wheel.
And we landed on a gold mine here because the Indianapolis Colts, one of the best teams, the best record in the AFC, is
They're the 1 seed.
took it over, and we're following them, and boy, we're having a good time. And I'm telling you, at the beginning of the year, all right, honest note, we keep on making sarcastic jokes. We didn't think they were going to do crap.
I think we both had them at like 3 or 4 wins when we played the schedule game.
Yeah.
We made a mistake.
We were wrong, Colts, and we're glad we're wrong because we are following.
Making it so fun. I am hoping that we're going to see a Pats Colts playoff game. I really want to see that. So, at that point, of course, I won't be rooting for the Colts. But that would be a lot of fun for the pod if we could get Pats Colts, and then the Pats Cowboys Super Bowl that clearly it's on its way.
Yes, of course, yes. That is inevitable at this point. But I don't know if you want to play against the Colts because they beat the Los Angeles Chargers, who not looking too good right now. I mean, they're in a little bit of a dry spell right now.
They got a lot of injuries that they're dealing with.
And it's catching up on them, but the Colts took advantage of it. Do the Colts care? They do not, because they ended up winning 38-24. Chargers fall 4-3. Overall, the Colts did really well. Again, offense 412 yards. Chargers got 389 yards. Passing yards, Danny Dimes 288 yards this game.
And he's after what happened last night. We recorded on a Tuesday, so Monday Night Football last night. Baker Mayfield no longer the front runner for the MVP. I think Danny Dimes just slipped right in there, and he's currently our MVP front runner.
You definitely have to watch out for him. Taylor got 16 carries for 94 yards, 3 touchdowns. Fantasy nightmare if you're playing against him because he's definitely having a hell of a year. I mean, Colts are just looking phenomenal out there. They ended up getting, the Chargers ended up giving up a turnover. Rushing yards, they can only get 50. How many backups they have? The fact of the matter is that the Chargers could not be able to run the ball, and that's what Jim Harbaugh wants.
Justin Herbert was their leading rusher. He was 6 for 31. Vidal was 9 for 20. And their line's taken some hits. The Chargers line's taken some hits, but it's still functional. And it seems like Harbaugh's going to have to adapt, and he's going to have to win with a little bit more of an air raid offense, which is not his style.
And the big thing that seems to be taking the case is Jonathan Taylor is on his way of winning the running triple crown. That's number 1 in rushing, number 1 in touchdowns, and number 1 in attempts there. So,
I don't think anyone would have said that he'd be anywhere near that preseason, and that's just not just our ignorance, but it's been a few years removed from his golden years, and I don't think people had a ton of expectations for him to do what he's doing, but Shane Steichen is pushing the right buttons, and Taylor's running the ball so well.
Very well. And Steichen, who got fired, I think, under the McCoy regime at the Chargers, ended up taking it to his old team that they decided to go with Jim Harbaugh when you had Steichen in your back pocket the whole entire time.
I would have gone with Harbaugh, too. Everywhere Harbaugh goes, he wins. He made Stanford football a winner.
Yeah.
And I still can't believe he didn't beat his brother in the blackout Super Bowl. That was it. And John Harbaugh definitely needed to win too, though. He's been in there for how long? Yeah. If you had to give it to one of the Harbaugh brothers, it had to be him. And yeah. I think that's the one thing about Jim is I think that's his quest. He just wants to get that Super Bowl, get it done. He wants to be up there with Pete Carroll and Barry Switzer. As I think are they the only two that have won both a Natty and a Super Bowl?
How dare you, sir?
Oh,
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson. My goodness.
That's blasphemy around this house.
I was too focused on. Well, I was just giving Switcher's Super Bowl to Jimmy Johnson in my head. That's what I was doing.
Yeah. But I don't think it's much. I think it's those three. We'd have to get a fact check on that. But I believe it's just those three. Overall, the injury woes for the big injuries that ended up happening to defensive end. Tyquan Lewis groin was out, and Samson Abuka knee early in the game. So I mean, they're going through some struggles, but I think they're such a well-oiled unit at this point that I think the Colts are going to be, there for the future for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely, especially after what happened last night with the Texans, and the Jaguars have dropped 2 in a row now. You want to crown them. The Colts are winning this division. I mean, we said preseason 9 wins this division, maybe 8. The Colts are already at 6. I think they can easily get 10 or 11. So at this point, the division's in the bag, and they are playing for that 5.
So the big question that I have at the end of this game is, coach of the year. What about it? It's got to be Steichen.
Verable.
No, man, I don't know.
Okay, if you want me to talk honestly, I guess Steichen is starting Danny Dimes.
This team was meant to do absolutely nothing, and it was mainly because of Danny Dimes starting. But he made a gut check call where he shut down possible franchise quarterback Anthony Richardson, and then just said, "I don't care." Danny Dimes. Yeah, it was out because of a weird injury before a game. But the fact that Steichen made that gut call, sent it to the owner, just did it anyway, and said, "I can work with Danny Dimes over this," and everyone criticizing, including us, like, you chose Danny Dimes over Anthony Richardson. What the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's working out for him. The defense is looking really good. This team was supposed to be dead in the water. They were supposed to be chasing draft picks, and now they're number 1 in the league. What is going on?
Yeah.
You got to give it to Steichen.
We'll see what happens in the playoffs. Right now, this just screams catch the Chiefs in the divisional round and get boat raced. Because it's the freaking Chiefs, and the NFL cheats for them. I will always say that.
He said it, folks. He said
it. They didn't cheat for Brady. They kept trying to take Brady down.
I'll find you some Brady haters that say otherwise, I'm sure. Yeah. And
anyone that's ever grown up where the weather actually gets cold, you leave a ball outside overnight, or just for an hour or two even, it deflates a little bit. It's physics. It's science.
He's not going to let it go. He's not going to work. The answer's easy. I got 6. Just whatever. However I got him, deal with it.
Exactly. I'm just saying. But yeah, no, Steichen right now, I would say he is front runner for the year. Vrabel's right there with him, though, which makes me so happy. If I will say, if the Pats somehow win the AFC East, Vrabel's a coach of the year.
Okay.
But if they just make the playoffs and the Colts keep doing it, the Colts get the 1 seed, Steichen should be coach of the year.
Yeah, and I think there were 2 disappointing teams last year, so for them to actually come back and get anything, I get where you're coming from. I just think, man, the Colts look really, really like no one was high on them, and for them to turn it around. I think a lot of people projected that Verable was going to at least get this team to 8 wins, 9 wins. We were definitely one of them. Mm-hmm. Nobody had the Colts on their radar to be number 1 in the AFC.
No. Preseason, I thought the Patriots would do much because I was saying the Pats should be contending for the 7 seed. Looks like they should be contending for a higher seed right now, which is great. But we got to get there still got to get there.
For sure, but we got to keep moving on because the NFL is ready for some picks.
Let's make some picks.
Making picks with Nick and Roll. Nick and Roll. The picks might be a hatchet job. Less reliable than a cone on the cob, but I love hearing picks from Nick and Roll. Da, 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 da.
All right, let's make some picks. Week 8 coming at us. None of our teams are on a bye quite yet. It's going to be a good one. We're going to start off. We have one game in the noon hour. The other 2 are the late window. So, and that noon game is going to be Cleveland visiting New England. Cleveland visits New England. This is a scary game.
Yeah, I actually have been thinking about this. I saw the little pick'em sheet for the office pool, and Cleveland just is an annoying team. That's an annoying team to play right now because
Yep.
their defense is top notch out there. I just don't know if their offense is going to be that good. But Dylan Gabriel, you never know. They won a big game against the
They did.
Dolphins. So.
Yeah. And then you look at the Pats, and they are still young. They are still learning. They are still growing. Just because they're 5-2 doesn't mean they're gonna, and they should be 6-1. Doesn't mean that they're not gonna stumble a little bit along the way. I think this is one where they could. You look what happened with the New Orleans game with Spencer Rattler.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Rattler's actually looked pretty good in a lot of games. He might be their starting quarterback for the next few years. He's certainly staking a claim for it, which is pretty good.
That's another quarterback that I think people gave up on too.
They just assumed no way, but
he's got a good coordinator. Kellen Moore is a really good one, so
he does.
It's going to work out. But back to the Patriots and
so back to that. I think there's a chance that Dylan Gabriel can put a little bit of something out there, and that defense. They've got this guy on their defense. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Myles Garrett. I'd be very worried. The Pats' offensive line has been iffy as they're getting going. This is going to be a matchup nightmare for the Pats' line. I want Drake May to get out of this game healthy.
Yeah.
And right now, if we were picking against the spread, I would definitely say New England is not covering because they got New England -6.5. Over under at 44.5. Over under at 40.5. I'm gonna pick Cleveland here.
Man, that always makes me nervous because you know your team much better than me.
I would be so happy if I'm wrong. Verable, prove me wrong.
What I like about your team also is your defense, and I think Dylan Gabriel is going to be going against Verable, coming up with some schemes to go against it. Yes, Myles Garrett's going to give Drake May a freaking hard time the entire time. Yeah. But I think your offense has got some things that are clicking on it. The only suggestion I would give to Verable is you got to develop the run so much better against this team, because if you do develop the run, you'll be able to stop that rush. It helps tremendously. But if they do that, change a little on that end of it. The Patriots should win this one, and I actually would take the 6.5 too. I would actually take them over it. Yes, Cleveland has problems, but I just don't think they're that good.
If New England's going to win, I think this is a Travion Henderson breakout game. Not necessarily as a runner. Him as the dump off option and just racking up yards after the catch as Drake May gets away from Myles Garrett and dumps it off to him.
Yeah, just do a bunch of dink and dunks, pass it right at him, and run the ball. If you do all that, your offense should be okay, and that's all it needs to be over there, because I think you guys are going to tear Dylan Gabriel up. I think he's about to get into a show that he's just not ready for, especially with Gonzalez in the secondary. How's he doing on the injury, by the way?
He seems like he's doing okay. I'd love to see an interception or two this week. Maybe let's get Carlton Davis take 6, and then all of a sudden I'm smiling and saying, what was I worried about? But yeah, so it looks like we're going opposite ways on this. That's okay. I hope you're right, Nick.
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, and I'm rooting on them, so why not? It's an AFC team, so I'm like, I'll root for the Patriots.
Yeah, no, I very much want the Pats to win. This one screams trap game to me.
Yeah, there's always the trap game.
Yeah, and then we've got next up on the list. We already talked about this game. We previewed it with our guest earlier. We've got Dallas at Denver.
Boy, my homers just came out to it, kicking out big time over there. Mathematically, I cannot figure out how the Cowboys can actually beat the Denver Broncos. I don't think they're going to be able to. I think their defense, you're scaring me with those stats. I wish you just didn't say them, honestly.
I had to bring them up.
Yeah, because I'm hearing all that and going, well, maybe we can't do anything. But I just feel we have so much firepower on this offense that I'm not too concerned with it. And yes, Bo Nix, Sean Payton should be able to get something off this defense. I think you're looking at another classic Cowboys game. What do we always say? Like, what, 43-40 kind of out there? If, even though Bo Nix has proved me wrong on this because he has done some serious comebacks, if it's coming down to or Dak Prescott, give me Dak Prescott every time, especially with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb out there. I think the Cowboys are going to pull this off, and they don't do well in Denver, and there's a lot of problems with being on the road. The cadences are going to be really ruined, especially with that loud crowd.
And that crowd's going to be into it with the Cowboys coming to town.
They always are, and we always struggle over in Denver, but man, I feel we've had too many ups and downs. I think the team needs that win just to get that over the hump and say, hey, you know what? We're actually good. I love the fact that Eberflus is playing a little bit more man-to-man out there. So if that defense can actually keep up that style and actually use the talent that's around them like they did against the Commanders, give me the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys. I think they're going to pull it off. If I'm a betting man, though, I would not put any money on it whatsoever. I think the Cowboys are going to win because I've got blue and silver glasses on, Rob.
I understand that. Before I give you my pick, I want one more prediction from you. Does Brandon Aubrey set, especially now with the new K-ball rules, does he set an NFL record for longest field goal ever?
All joking aside, that's a serious advantage for the Cowboys, especially with that thin air, because we get it near their 45. I mean, our 45. We can make that field goal. We really can.
Yeah, I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance you see Aubrey kick one for 70 plus.
He got mad last game because they went for it on fourth down, and they had a chance at a 66-yard field goal, and he got mad. He was like, oh, come on, man, I'm over here. Why not use me? And then I'm working out because we got a touchdown.
Yeah.
But
That's good. You want your kicker thinking that at 66.
No, I've heard him on podcasts before. He is genuinely trying. He wants that record. He wants it really bad. So what a better opportunity than now to go get that record. And can he make a 7 field goal? The question that you're asking, easily over in Denver. I expect Brandon Aubrey, if given the opportunity, he will make that field goal.
Awesome. I would love to see that. I'm going to say that that's going to happen because I want it to happen because that'd be awesome. But I'm going short and sweet here. I'm going Denver in this game. We saw what Russell Wilson did. I think Bo Nix, he's had all those slow starts. This is his chance to not have a slow start. And I know the Cowboys defense only gave up 22, but it was against a not 100% Commanders team. That's not the Cowboys' fault. You can only play with who's in front of you and the condition they're in. I get that. I'm not believing in Dallas quite yet. Dallas pulls his upset off, I'm going to start thinking they can make the playoffs.
I can't blame you too much. If we were playing at home, I think we'd really have a good chance at it. But this is going to be, I think, just a really high-scoring good game. But yeah, it's going to be tough, though. Denver is not an easy place to play, and I don't blame you for picking Denver.
Yep. And then the last game of the week, I think, dear viewer, you already know what we're both going to say. We're still going to say it. The Tennessee Titans will be visiting the Indianapolis Colts. Who you got, Nick?
Colts.
Same. Even though it's now week 2 of Mike McCoy, Colts. Colts are favored by, Colts are favored by 14.5. They might cover. They might. If I was legally allowed to place a bet in my home state of Texas, I would consider strongly taking that and saying that they're going to cover the 14.5.
It's not even close. The Colts defense is way too good out. They're going to give a hell out there. I don't know how Cam Ward's going to operate on this. And then on the defensive side, they've got some troubles too. I mean, they're not good at all. And I'd imagine Danny Dimes, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., Tyler Warren. I mean, what are you going to do? How are you going to stop them? This is the kind of game that I am so confident about that it wouldn't shock me that I'm wrong because the NFL's just going to
NFL. The NFL does that, yeah. But no, we're agreed there. Indianapolis to win, and we both agree that Indianapolis is going to cover. Not that we're keeping track of that, but we think they are.
So we've got some differences. I got the Patriots.
You get a chance to go up 2 on me on this week.
Yeah, or the other way around. You know, I'm not too confident in my Cowboys pick, but I just, homerism. I'm just gonna go with it. But that's pretty much it on the picks. Guys, thank you for joining us. And if you made it to the show, I've seen the YouTube algorithms. Thank you, number one.
Yes.
And number two, where do they find us, Rob?
All right. Besides finding us here on YouTube at the Nick and Rob Homer Hour, I think sometimes it pops up as the UFO Homer Hour still, but you can find us there. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. You can also find us. We are going to be back on Spotify this week.
Yes.
Back on Spotify. We had some sound issues, so we didn't upload a sound only to Spotify last week. We'll be back on Spotify this week. We have an Instagram, Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Go ahead and follow along there as well. And we will be re-releasing a bunch of shorts on TikTok. We're definitely going to have some shorts on TikTok this week, Nick and Rob Homer Hour. But please like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Set those alerts. We're closing in on 500 subscribers. It'd be really great to hit that this week.
It's pretty awesome that we're getting close over there. So we love the growth of the show. We're doing really well, and I appreciate you guys for following along. Tony, I feel like you just deserve a shout out each game because of what you've done on the live feeds, which we do also do for the game. We might do one next week. I don't know.
We got one coming up soon.
We definitely have November 9th, I think.
That November 9th is our next scheduled live stream for breakfast and beers and watching some football. And we might have a bonus one, maybe a bonus post game or halftime show coming up soon. So if you do like and subscribe, also make sure to set those alerts because if we go live, you're not going to want to miss it. And then looking ahead to next week, we have our first return guest to the pod.
Yeah.
Ryan, the Pats fan, is going to be back. He's got a lot of great thoughts on how the season's gone. So we'll go. We were a little Broncos heavy this week, which made a lot of sense with all the news going on with the Broncos. We're going to be a little Pats heavy next week. But I'm sure he'll also have some thoughts on the Cowboys too, because who doesn't?
Yeah, especially. But other than that, guys, thank you for tuning along, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one, guys.